Drew Curtis is with us from Fark.com. Hello, Drew.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is
Much
doing
better.
well. Do you know Leslie? Say hello to Drew. Do you guys
Hi,
know
Drew.
Hey, what's up?
I don't know if you guys knew each other. So how are things over there in the world of Fark.com?
Yeah, doing great as a matter of fact. Started getting into the because we're in like the middle of August right now, which most people outside of the coasts are not aware, although you guys in Ocean City may be aware that pretty much everybody in New York, LA, and San Francisco takes the month of August off. And I guess goes to Ocean City probably, right?
This is where they come, yeah. So we wouldn't actually know because everybody's here. So it doesn't seem like anybody's taking time off.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is what they're not doing, rather, is writing a bunch of articles. But that said, they're still cranking out a few of them, so it's actually harder to find real news in August than any other time. But that's okay because that's not what I'm looking for. So we
No. And I wanted to. I'm sure you know this story, and I've been saving this for you to share. How about this story about this baby that keeps spontaneously combusting?
Yeah, that one's a little weird right there.
Is that like the craziest story you've heard in a long time?
It is sort of, but it's got some like red flags in it. Basically, I mean, one of the main problems is that this happens in India. Like anytime you get a crazy and unbelievable story, almost always it's in a third world country and can't be verified.
Okay, explain what happened.
I'm not saying it's not happening, but I'm saying usually when stuff like this does happen, you find it's from a third world country. Like what's more likely that's going on is that this kid is spontaneously combusting, or that he's lived in a third world country and he's got crazy parents that set him on fire.
Come on now.
I hope I'm wrong about that, but actually maybe not, because at least you could prevent that if he was spontaneously combusting. I don't know what you'd do. Like coat him in foam or something.
I thought it was okay. Doctors at the hospital were saying that this kid suffers from spontaneous human combustion.
I've heard of this.
Exactly.
You've heard of this.
Chennai, India, which is
now,
wait.
wait.
I don't know where that is.
Hold on. Leslie knows you've heard of this.
Yeah, but I can't remember off the top of my head why it happens, but I have heard of it happening before.
There's no external source. The kid keeps catching on fire. There's,
know.
I mean, I hate to laugh, but I mean, what happened to your kid? I don't know, just caught on fire again.
Yeah, caught fire.
You know, it's 4 times this kid's caught on fire.
I thought that like once it happened and that was pretty much it. You were done.
No. It's caught on fire 4 times.
Crazy.
Okay.
Maybe he's smoking while he's taking oxygen or something.
I don't know, but I suspect it's the curry. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. The curry's too high. Yeah.
I mean,
well, you know what? The population of that city is 6.5 million, so it's not like you're living in a small town or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those bizarro stories.
Yeah.
I said, usually when you see those things, they almost always pop up in third world countries. So, like I said, I'm not saying it's not happening, but if it was in New York, I'd find it more believable.
Right, gotcha. Hey, whatever you do, don't feed that kid a burrito. I mean, that kid is going to explode. All right, what else do you want to go with? I'm going to let you take over. Go ahead. What's happening?
So here's an interesting article. This is one of those press release masquerading as a news article, but it still brings up an interesting point. A personal finance company did a recent survey asking Americans if they would rather keep their current debt or lose their current debt but have to gain 25 pounds to do it. 72% of people said that they would rather keep their current debt than gain 25 pounds.
Okay, would you rather keep your current debt or gain 25 pounds?
I'd rather keep my current debt.
Big Al?
Give me the weight.
Yeah.
Give him the weight, Coach.
Give me 30 pounds.
Well, he's so. I mean, come on. The debt thing stresses him out more than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I bought him a soda and a sandwich like 2 weeks ago, and he's still stressed out. I'm like, don't worry about it. He's like, no, I'm going to pay you back.
I will even it up. Don't worry.
I know he will. He'll make good on it eventually.
Kid, we went to golf one time. He offered to pay for gas. All right, how much do I owe you for gas?
I know. He's good like
How about you, Drew? Which way are you going?
I would give up my current debt, and then I would go hire a personal trainer and get to the gym.
Okay. All right. See, no one thought of that idea. Look at Drew, the thinker guy.
Look at the big brain on Drew.
Yeah, look at the big brain on Drew. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so,
right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking one step ahead there. So, but anyway, that's kind of interesting. So, it's a press release or whatever. So, loosely related to that, here's something that I'm surprised we don't hear about more often. There's not a lot of details on this article, but again, to the point where I'm surprised we don't hear this more often. A surgeon in Russia was arrested for ingesting heroin, which I'm willing to believe that doctors use heroin. However, what is interesting is where he got it from. He was working on a patient and found it in the patient.
He found the heroin in the patient?
In the patient, it stole the heroin, and then later on when they confronted him, he was on the heroin.
Wow. Well, that'll teach you to not pack yourself when you're going for surgery.
Yeah, I was like, that's interesting.
There's got to be a lesson there somewhere.
The Guardian is trying to follow up on it to figure out whether or not the surgeon was working on the guy to remove the heroin, which it's not that they don't know that detail. But at any rate, it doesn't matter. It's just hilarious because it reminds me of the same thing like whenever when they have pot busts around here in Kentucky, the amount of pot they find is not usually the amount that makes it to the police station.
Oh, yeah, no, that's for sure.
Rippers get a hold of that stuff first.
Exactly. So another weird criminal stuff. The judge has thrown out the judgment against Paula Dean on racial grounds. Anyways, they kept the sexual harassment one in there, which is interesting.
Now, wait a second. The judge that threw out the racial discrimination.
Yep, which is the thing that she got in trouble for.
She ruled that. Now, wasn't it like the girl was white who was complaining about this? What happened with this thing?
I don't know. All I know is that basically she said that she used a racial slur one time 20 years ago and lost all her sponsors. And I think I even mentioned on the show that the main reason that would happen is because they hate her, because I've seen people do far worse stuff. So she just must be difficult to deal with. But yeah, so the charges were actually thrown out, which I don't know if anybody cares what that means, but boy, you want to talk about a bunch of nothing.
So, well, it's all thrown out, but the damage is done. It didn't much matter now.
Now, can she come back
well,
and
like
sue?
I said, she must be a miserable person to deal with, and I think that's the greater point is because they use that as a reason to dump her rather than, like I said, Richard Quest, who's the guy who got caught with crack and naked and with another dude in a park in New York, and he just got a slap on the wrist because he's funny.
Which guy is that?
His name is Richard Quest. He's CNN's international guy. He's a riot. Maybe he's on crack, maybe he's not, but he's awesome.
It's kind of like the baseball players. Who cares if they're on stuff? As long as
they're like, don't do it twice. Was basically what they did once. So they're like, well, okay, fine.
All right, I can deal with that.
Drew, I got a story here that I can't get to open, but I can't believe it doesn't happen more often. According to the headline, Geek Squad employee uploads female customers' nude photos to internet. You would think this happens all the time.
Actually, I would think that would be going on a daily basis. My guess is it probably does. I mean, that's actually the one thing I worry about is because they actually have little USB key fobs that'll just siphon every image and movie off of your computer in one shot. It takes like a couple seconds. So I've always just assumed the Geek Squad guys were doing that, but apparently I don't know that they've got allegations against anyone, but they've tracked it down to a woman took her computer into Geek Squad, and the next thing you know, she had some quote-unquote artistic photos that are apparently floating around online from a couple of years ago, so she's suing them.
I mean, you would think that people always get hear about the busted for the porn in their computer. Just throw your computer away. Why would you take it to get fixed knowing this stuff's on there?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
people are dumb and don't think.
Isn't it kind of like the same story we talked about this morning? Every day there's another teacher involved in a sexual act. Don't you know that you're going to get caught? Don't you know that people are getting caught for this all the time, teachers? It's every day.
Not only just teachers, too, but just anybody. I mean, the upshot is that you just can't lie anymore because people will figure it out. And so it's too risky to even bother at this point.
Well, these teachers are nuts. I read you one stat. The chick that got busted in Dallas.
Yeah.
She sent 15,371 text messages to this kid between May and July.
What are you talking about? Coach said that many to Jess today since the beginning of the show.
Nothing.
That is
half of them were
nuts.
naked.
You ready for office?
It's creepy.
Well, no, you know what? He's not running for office, but I heard that guy from Duck Dynasty's running for office.
I heard that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that guy Willie.
Yeah, Willie Robertson.
Are you a fan of that show?
I like that show.
Dude,
I think they're very funny.
Leslie and I totally need to get together and watch TV because you watch all the stupid shows like I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. He's funny. And apparently, his business has been a success. But why should he become a? People are going to vote for him because he's on TV. It's insane.
I'm voting for him.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I would.
You can't.
I would if I.
Alabama.
I would. I said I would. I would vote for him if I lived there. Absolutely.
Yep.
I like
What's wrong with our country?
Are you kidding? They voted for Schwarzenegger because he was an actor.
I'm voting
Hey,
for
at
the
least
Pawn Star guys.
He's
too.
educated.
Chumley for president. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I think that's what this whole thing is behind Fark. Drew has this incredible following, and we know he's going to run at some point.
Oh, I'm voting
for president, right,
Actually,
Drew?
I'm not allowed to. I will let somebody else do it, but I have been forbidden to do that by my wife.
Oh, by your wife. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, you know why though, right? It's because she's afraid I'm going to win.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I mean, with your kind of your power that you have, the wielding the sword of Fark.com.
Yeah, I joked about running for governor in Kentucky because it's not like anybody awesome is ever running for that. But the problem is that's actually a job, and I'm not really sure I'm up to that. But it turns out,
no. I'm pretty sure when it comes to you and job, no, that's not happening.
But however, lieutenant governor, all you do is you break ties in the Senate, and that's it. I think I could do that. I'd just be up there not paying attention, and every once in a while a tie comes up. I would totally do that. So that would be fun, and you get a mansion too. So hey.
Wow. Oh yeah, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
But then you know what? It's gotta suck when you give it back.
Can I be
when you have to move out. And you know what? I would do it. I'd save money on the movers. I'd do it myself. I'd call a couple buddies over. They'd be banging down the holes in the walls. Move that desk. Boom. Be bad.
I'd like to be your Benson if you get elected.
Absolutely. Like I said, you can't run for lieutenant governor. I need somebody I know to run for governor and stick me on the ticket. Then I'm good.
All right. You can probably find someone. Oh, geez, look at this.
Probably.
Where did this time go?
There's no telling.
Do you have one more story? It's 10 o'clock already.
Yeah, I got a quick one. I don't know if you bought any lottery tickets in Oklahoma City lately, but if you did, don't call the phone number on the back because for whatever reason they didn't check it or they got the wrong number or whatever. But it goes to an adult phone line, which apparently those still exist.
What?
Wow.
Who calls those lines still?
I know, exactly. It's
With
like,
the internet.
Do these people not have the internet? I mean,
wait.
Anyway, it's so confusing.
Wait a second. When you said who calls those lines, Coach's eyes moved around quite rapidly.
And look at
Coach,
his
you have
shoulders.
something to say?
That's his tell. His shoulders went
He
up.
looks tense.
Have you ever called one of those phone lines?
Ever?
Ever.
Yes.
Big Al, have you ever called?
Yes, with an exception. I dialed and put the phone into my roommate's hand, the cell phone, as he was passed out. So he woke up with like a $45 phone bill.
That's awesome.
Leslie, you ever call one of those numbers?
By accident, I
Yeah,
did.
It's always by accident.
No, I really was by accident.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Yeah. Me too. Drew, you ever call one?
Yeah, again by accident.
Yeah, okay.
I never called one off the bottom
It's
of
so
the
easy to do.
Well, like I grew up with the internet. It never occurred to me to even call one of those.
Yeah, we did. We called.
Well, the
There you
8's
go.
right next to the 9. It's easy to do.
The extra T in hot is for hot.
All right, man. Well, Lieutenant Governor Curtis, we appreciate your time.
Anytime.
That just flows off the lips, doesn't
It
it?
does. It rolls.
Huh?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
rolls.
sort of.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Governor from what was it, Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Yep, one of those.
Yeah, Drew Curtis. Thank you, Drew. All right, buddy.
Anytime.
We'll talk to you
Yeah.
next week.